badge. You need to go through the security person will check whether you are from the same place and then go to the college. But today, what did I do? Everybody called up saying, we are coming just pass this. Who must pass through every security, no checking, nothing. Right? Fraud starts from there. Trust me, the beginning of anything intent to deceive. Maybe you had the pre-authorization, you had everything. In fact, if you have to enter into our offices, you can't just enter into our office just like that. You need to go stand near the security. Sudhakar also will talk about it. He will take a photograph, and after that only you will be said that who is accompanying you, and then only you can come to the office. No tailgating. Whether he's close to your partner, whether he's close to a very important client, even if he's an important client, you would have gone back to the security, give the names, every details, and you would have come and given the badge. And after the badge is what you can enter into the office. Right? Intent to deceive is what fraud is all about. An intent to deceive a friend, like people who's on mobile phone now, thinking that they're listening to me. Unfortunately, I'm an auditor, which is what 4 cornerstones of communication, where I can spot on people who are on mobile phone whose heads are down, whose heads are up, and to say whether they're listening to me or not. But trust me, intent, your intention is what starts fraudulent. One day you don't want to come to the college. What do you say? I've got a stomachache. I've got a fever. Your grandmother is sick. Somebody else is sick. Someone's dog is not well. Right? Today's Talaiva's Dalapati's movie, but you can't say it is Dalapati's movie. Or somebody might be an Ajit's fan, Talas fan. So you might say, I can't say Talas has got the painful, so therefore I have to go and watch it in the theater. The intention for anyone the fraud starts from there. Go back to your school days. I mean, you've got an exam, or let's say you're preparing for a foundation. There is a check by your parents to say whether you're studying or not. Mobile, you have got a notebook. On that, you have your mobile, right? You show them as if you're studying, but actually you're on chat. The intention is what a behavior talks about fraud. And this intention, if it translates to causing sort of a harm, that is where the problem is. As long as you deceive your own self, it is you causing yourself the harm. But the moment you step out and because of your action, someone else gets impacted. That is where fraud plays a major role. For instance, today, if you have to go and join a college, right? If the college is building up certain things, right, certain facilities, but if as a student I'm not entitled, but I go and pay off something to get it done, that becomes a fraudulent transaction. Fraud is something where you start with certain thing which will impact people who are not directly related to you, but someone because of your actions gets impacted. So therefore, when you do things, do it honestly, do it with integrity, carry the value systems in place. And today, if you see, there are a lot of market manipulations, stock manipulations. There are a lot of things which are coming through saying this is fraud, that is fraud. If some fraud comes out, you guys say, that person has done fraud, this person is fraud. Let me give you a simple example. If you're going to go buy a property in Coimbatore, the value of property is, let's say, 3 crores. The stamp duty comes to about 42 lakhs. How much is the value of the land that you put it on in the agreement? 3 crores, 2 crores, 1 crore. How much you will put? You will put what is as per government value. So here the people who will sit and say, those guys have committed fraud. What are we as a citizens? So the fraud starts with everyone. The question is the extent of the damage that it could cause to the people at the large society. Take for example, you all ride bikes, right? Triple riding, how many people do it? They are put it more on pull under the pump. You all do it, right? That's some trying to deceive someone. So the intention, the reason why I wanted to set up this in your context, it's very easy, it's very tough subject, right? It's a vast subject. Fraud is a very vast subject, right? Frauds can be identified only if I have a focused direction towards it. People who do commit fraud will be seen their behavior with the most innocent behavior or the most aggressive behavior. There are only two concepts. They can't be middlemen. They can't be so-called as the middle class, super rich or super poor, or super innocent or super aggressive. These frauds which are done by the small things, instead of going buying vegetables for 5, and if you say go to negotiate with vendor 5, you add one more. That's also a fraudulent way. You go and buy a vegetable and the poor retailer says for 10 rupees I'll give you 6 leaves, and he said no, put one more. So you add one more. That's also fraud. So the question is, the middle class is at a much lower level, but the behavior is very, very important. The behavior is, if you want to identify a fraud, and the way we learn all frauds is how a person responds to you. And most of the frauds that happens in this country is basically starts with a behavior. And that's what we're going to cover up. And not only in India, but across globe, across places. When you have the authority, when you have the power, and that's what will determine the character of a person whether he's going to commit fraud or not. That's why I said, don't give importance to the chair. Give importance to the person, and the role that he plays is what makes him the person. So therefore, for all of you, because you're all in the college, right? I saw first year, second year, other staff, everything segregated. And when the Prime Minister talks about that, we have this so much growing population of what are called employable or the young population. And if the young population is trained and groomed very well like a potter, we will have a great country. A great country can happen only when you start behaving the manner in which you are expected to behave. And this is the most important thing. So from a fraudulent perspective that I'm going to touch upon, I'm also going to cover certain behaviors which you carry with your mobile phones. Detox the mobile phone every one day in a week. See the amount of time that you get at your disposal to learn more things. And that is what is called don't fraud yourself. See the mobile rings. This is exactly what it is. So the point which is very important for all of us when you're dealing with fraud is this aspect of it. And again, I said, fraud, if it does not harm others, it's fine. But if it harms others, the largest stakeholders, that's where the most difficult thing will come. That's called an act of intentional deception designed to exploit a victim. And a victim is basically nothing but a crime. It's not a crime. But the whole objective is that you have someone in target, and that's how you're moving through the street. And this is a very important aspect you should do. There are a lot of frauds which are in public domain, and a lot of things which are happening. The question there is, there is a thin line of difference between a business decision, a thin line of decision between a business risk, a thin line of this difference between what is expected of an audit. I think if you are expected as an auditor, and I always tell our people, and I also tell most of the CA students, that the weakest link will be the strongest for us. And if you are the weakest link, that means you start your career as an associate, as an article, then groom up yourself as a qualified and then up to the level. And if you are given a role to verify, let's say, cash in bank, which you're going to test the receipts and test the payments and say whether it is in order, and you don't even check anything, you go on signing everything and say this is what it is. And finally turns out that you're not verifying. This is the weakest link that we have. And unfortunately, many of these things happen because today the transactions have gone up multifold. Today, the whole businesses have gone, the risk of the businesses have gone multifold. There is not one risk that you can look at. There are multiple risks. The risk at the entity level, the risk at the process level, the risk at the people level, the risk at our own levels are far and more. And therefore, what's important is that if every one of us plays the role of what is required, probably the frauds will be more or less. Otherwise, you will see many things coming through this. Again, this is nothing but why would somebody do it? Why would somebody commit a fraud? Why? Could be his aspirations. Could be say, I want to be the best in the country. I want to be the leading conglomerate in the country. I want to be known as the richest in the top Forbes 50 in the world. That is what will drive a behavior. The question is, can you go through this process of saying that I will be straightforward and therefore it acquires businesses? The answer could be yes, the answer could be no. And therefore, when you look at your businesses, that's the reason. If you look at Tatas, have you any time seen Tatas in top 50, top 100, top this thing? Where do you find Tatas? For what? Top 10 for the top 1 for the best market capitalization, not for the individual. Top companies for employing maximum resources with a social cost. Top company which will take care of many of the social activities, including acquiring the same beautiful Maharaja brand, which is your aim. There is no profit element. There is a profit plus a social element. And that's the reason they will never figure in the top 10, top 20, they will figure in all those other parameters which are not measured to be saying the billionaires and all of this. So there is this distinction you should see about it. Does it mean that everybody who's come up to that level are fraudulent? The answer is no. But what happens is, in our own life system, till the time between 20 to 50 is where we start looking at ourselves as growing. After 50, we say we are spiritually connected, and that's where we say, give it back, give it back, give it back. But if you are a company and where a lot of stakeholders are around, this is what matters most. So just at the back of the mind. There are these companies, again, why I'm bringing about all of these. Any fraudulent activity is about manipulation of an account. And you're all commerce students. What's your principal theory of account? What is the first learning that you do in commerce? What is the first principle, accounting principle that you learn? First accounting principle, what do you learn? Or the first accounting concept that you learn? Every debit has got a corresponding credit. And classifying by the accounts called personal, real, and nominal. And where does fraud happens? Where does fraud happens? Majority of the fraud happens in the nominal accounts, because everything is debit, what comes in, credit, what goes out. That's it. If it is cash, cash is already there. If it is personal, personal is already there. What way can you manipulate? It's your journal. manipulation happens. I can manipulate a price. So let's say I'm going to sell, let's say you all go and join a marketing company, right? You want to sell, let's say, a product. So let's say recently, let's say you want all this cricket which is going on. You want to sell, you're into this IPL mode and you have to sell all of this, the personal attires of all the, let's say, cricketers or anybody else, right? Or let's say you're the franchisee. They have the t-shirts, everything which you need to sell. So what do? Sir, you buy this, sir, I'll get you Kohli. Tomorrow you will meet Kohli. Sir, you come here, sir, you will have an audience with Dhoni. Right? Because you start manipulating the way, because you want to sell it off. But that is for a sale. Right? But let's say, first time he buys it, he says, he doesn't meet, next time you see the same person, what he say? Go and sell it to somebody else, not to me. That's an experience, but that's an individual. But if you do it for the larger population, what happens? That's a fraud to commit. So therefore, from you, when you look at companies, I'm again put it to the company, there's nothing called right or wrong. The question there is, manipulation happens through books. And in today's world of technology, 2009, technology played a major role, right? As accountants, we should not only know debits and credits, we should also know technology. If you're not a student of technology, please embrace technology. How many people know Chat GPT? How many people use Chat GPT? Why do you use Chat GPT? Someone, teacher said, please write an essay. Teacher said, please bring in some concept relating to artificial intelligence. Hey, ChatGPT, I won't understand what artificial intelligence is all about. That's all you do it. When I say utilize, an utility is something where I use the features of ChatGPT because that's got updated only after a particular period in time. It's where does it get information? The whole universe is information. Your name could also figure there. So the ChatGPT probably would have picked up something which you posted somewhere in Google or some other place, some other media. So information that is processed, it's only a general information. But if you have the knowledge, you will use that information to the extent what it's relevant. So therefore, if you are the commerce student, make sure you are embracing technology. And Satyam was a great example of manipulation of IT systems. Manipulation did not come through manipulation of books and records. Manipulation came through the IT systems. I can go and change anything at the back end. And that is what brought about this. Reason why I'm talking about this, I'm the person who was one of the part of investigating this company. But the problem is not with the auditors. They won't know. Because if suppose what I give it to you and what I go and change in the back at the end of our signing the accounts will be two different things. I think this manipulation is where we need to be very, very careful about. Harshad Mehta, you see, when the economy booms and suddenly there is a fall in economy, let's put this way. Whenever there is an economic crisis, whenever there is a high inflationary trend, whenever the inflation is so high, whenever you have the whole economy looking downwards, fraud starts coming. You take any era, every fall in an economy or every war or anything which is connected has got a downfall of the businesses. And which businesses don't go for spin? It is those businesses which does not have the strength to demonstrate, the financial strength to demonstrate on the balance sheet. And this is something which is very, very good. So majority of the companies which went through 2008 was a year of when economy went downhill. Today is also similarly, last 2 years is an economy, the whole world economy is going down. And whenever an economy goes down, frauds comes onto the surface, and that's what runs. You've seen already 2 banks have just gone in the US. For whatever reasons, because of the government, way for increasing the rate of interest deposit, the money was there, but they were not able to get that leverage, and therefore it went down. So therefore you have to pay to the depositors more, but you are not earning money from the businesses. What happens? Expenses more, income less, the downfall starts. It is not because of a fraud, but it's also because of a business decisions or the economy that goes through it. Whether it is Nirav Modi or Harshad Mehta, the whole objective is where I want to grow. And how do you do it? Exploit a system. Today, if you see, the government of India has come up with what is called closing many of these things. For instance, earlier you could have used anything and every means not to pay tax. Today, Rajesh can say we cannot escape. We have got the AIS information. We have got the 26 AS. We got everything linked to the bank, to the travel, to everything is linked. You can't escape from not paying tax. They are linking the GST portal. Don't be surprised. Even whatever you're breathing in, breathing out, buying your clothes, everything will be linked. Because technology is here. Because today, what do you do? Today, you say, I'm coming to this college, I will put an Uber. Even that will be linked. Because phone is one basis of verification, even for income tax. So, from that perspective, when you're exploiting this so-called the system, earlier you say you used to call it as tax efficiency. In banking, it is called, managing the banks. And today, if you see, banks are sitting with more and more money. They're not able to lend. You know why? They're not able to cut down or take anything benefit of the rules that they have framed. And Nirav Modi was one of the persons. When you had the letter of undertaking, that's where he started getting the benefit. And he started exploiting. Today, you can't exploit. But earlier, you were able to exploit it because banking system never spoke to one another. And that is the reason why I'm saying technology plays a major role in prevention of fraud. I'm only going to address you from a prevention. Fraud has happened, but I'm trying to say how you need to do it. Bring technology. Let's say if I want to know whether I have to give an attendance to you in the college. Right from the time of the gate, till the time of the entry to the class, till the exit, if I've got everything on a technology, I don't have to record whether you've been in the class or not. Because at every place it says in time, out time, how many times you were there or not. It's a different story that you could have used somebody else, but a biometric can't cheat. So therefore, what is important is technology is also an enabler. Technology is also a spoil because you can misuse that. Shows the Sarda scam. The reason is all the scams happened with an intent to deceive. And again, they took all of these, wherever there were weaknesses in the banking system, that's how all of these emerged. You all love Harry Potter? Right? If he has got a magic wand, what does he do? Fly, right? And he will tell me how to destroy the documents, how to create a document. That's the story of an Harry Potter people. Think through this. If destruction had happened, evidence is erased. And 1st of April 2023, the government of India said every transaction should have an audit trail. Right? As much as you leave your trail in using Ola and Uber, as much as you use your trail using Google Maps, and I'm telling you, all I have to do is take your mobile phone, get your Google Maps, and I can tell you where you were there, at what point in time, how much time you were there, and anybody had hacked your mobile phone, only your maps, will get to know everything. I'm telling you, if you have used a PVR app, or if you use any app, Today, go and search in Instagram something, are very beautiful videos. You leave a trail. It's called the artificial intelligence. Right? So don't ever think you're smart, you deleted. No. Deletion doesn't go. Deletion remains. Deletion goes from your mobile phone. It is there in the cell. Okay? So next time, please use mobile phones very carefully. All right. Today, in this Paytm Zamana, right? It's called the Paytm Zamana. You all college kids. I will just make sure I'll have a tea, but I will not pay him. I will show him I paid him. You're all smart, right? Somebody would have tried, right? Yes or no? Sure. Boss, if you've not done that, that means you're not living your life. The age requires you to do naughty things. The age also makes sure that you get caught. Don't tell me everybody is like innocent, you're teacher's pet. I can ask the teachers who are their pet, who are not their pet. But I'm telling you, if you have gone there into a Paytm and let's say vendor, you go and buy and you don't have money, but you say I have to pay the money, right? But today the vendors have become smart. The moment you put this, it will say 70 rupees credited. You hear the sound thing? It's all because of this. All this fraud happened, and they also became smart. You have paid. Say, could be a lady voice or a gent voice. It depends upon which region it comes from. But just think through this. So therefore, the intention of all of this, even if you have got technology, people get to know how it is getting. Let me tell you one thing. If you have committed a fraud, it doesn't mean that you'll escape for lifelong. You will get caught one day. If you are like, the God Almighty, that's how they say. But no, fraud, if you commit, you will be caught one day. No matter how powerful you are, no matter how strong you are, you will be caught one day. And that day you will be in UK. Right? King of great times. In UK. That's exactly what it is. And why I'm telling you this is very, very important. I was like 4 years into time when I was auditing one of his companies, where I said there is fraud. And at that point in time, he was going for political. He says, if you're not there, there's somebody else who will come and do it. Trust me, stand for what is truth. Because you will have people to support you up to a particular point in time. After some point in time, people will not get on. So just be mindful of this. Why I'm saying fraud, these are critical. It all starts with small, personal. In fact, today when I'm talking, whole last 1 week, we are dealing with one fraud of a company. Simple thing. March, every quarter, you have your deadlines. So you want to show more targets, more sales and all of this. So what do? You have to push the sales. But you also have inventory which is not moved. So one of the sales guy we discussed with the warehouse person, he said, went and straight the whatever the price tag was there and replaced with a new one. Old became new. Smart fellow when he did, somebody else was watching when he was doing. So he caught that in a video. In today, WhatsApp, everything can be caught. So that person sent across, something is vibrating, please put it on silent mode. It's coming from here only. See, for me, my problem is auditor always listens also. So what he did, he just converted that and somebody shot the video. So you went and bought a piece. Right? So we bought a piece, the person paid the money. Nothing came onto the surface. They thought everything's over. There was one person in HR department who was asked to go. He said, you are asking me to go. Let me show. He took that video and put it back to the group team, saying that there's a fraud happened. See, this is the problem. You think out of your, smartness, you've recorded a video and then shared that video. And suddenly that video you thought is erased. So you go, bought him, paid him money. He said the video is gone. But the problem is the trail that he has left by sharing with so many people in the system. And one person was agreed to raise it to this. What happened? The person who paid 5 lakhs, the person who supported him, everybody is now under investigation. So what will happen? It's not only 5 lakhs. It's not only 10 lakhs. It's not about 50 lakhs. 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 4 lakh, 5 lakh. The entire system will now undergo change. And this is where I'm trying to say, either you commit a crime or you support somebody to commit a crime, or you keep silent to not report a crime. All of these people are being removed. Right? The 3 Gandhiji principles. All 3 of them are gone. Right? So the point, what is important for all of us to understand is you cannot see that if you're in a role that I will not report, there is a fraud which has happened. You are supposed to report that. And no, he's my friend, very nice guy. I believe he is a very nice person. When the job goes, then he'll say, that's how it starts with. So think through it. So the personal purchases, these are something which are where the fraud happens. Ghost employees for the HR. I have my friends, or I'm very smart. I need to recruit 1,000 people. I need to show the target that I've recruited 1,000 people. I could get only 500 people because KPR college doesn't have more than 500 people of commerce students. I took all their roles and put them as part of my HR. I need another 500. I duplicated the 500 into 2. Right? Names changed. So I created the database. And how do I make the payment? I link it to a bank account which is not seen by anybody else. And this ghost employees plays a major role. Today with technology, they are able to address, but during COVID period, you had people called moonlighting. Right? You heard moonwalk, sleepwalk. See, you want to hit somebody, go and walk, you sorry. But just think through it, moonlighting. That means I'm holding jobs in 3 different places at the same time, which is quite common. Even that is fraud. See, in the abroad, you have the time, 4 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours you can work. But you cannot work in India if you've got a contractual obligation. The contractual says 9:30 to 6. You have to be in the work, but you can't be working elsewhere. No, I'm a videographer. I like this. I go now. Morning shift, I'll come. There's no videographer today. I will go and do my job there. I cannot do it unless my contract says that I can do it as part of the process, or I can do it on a Sunday because it's my passion, which I do it. But I cannot do a moonlighting. That means I can't do multiple jobs the same time. So therefore, that also becomes a product. Skimming. If I'm the recipient of, if I'm the person who's got the in charge, let's say I'm the correspondent of this college, I know how much money to get, how much expenditure. Every control is with me. I'm the only signatory. I'll prepare everything. Can I make plus and minus? It happened elsewhere, where the monies received were short recorded and the expenses were excess recorded, or both were not recorded. So this sort of things also do happen as a part of the process. When does it happen? Whenever there is a cash transaction. Whenever there is a cash transactions, these things do happen. Tax avoidance, these days because of technologies, this avoidance is now getting reduced. You find more and more compliances which are happening. Asset theft. Let's say to do this program, the college gave a certain facility of a car to pick up a guest to get things done. So the car gets parked in your home. Somebody wants to go somewhere. Hey, I will just go and come down. You'll allow? Anyway, your flight is to get the line. You should be here before 8. This is called asset theft. Theft is not something where you just go and, that means utilizing the asset also becomes a theft, becomes a fraud. Unless I call up the saying, can I use this for my personal purposes? You will say, no, you are my lovely student. You do whatever you want, but make sure you pick up the guest. Student is gone, the person who was given is also gone. Think through this. I could go in a technical, but I have to be more and help you understand what theft is all about. So the asset theft plays a major role. Unauthorized use. So these are all the personal behaviors I talked about. But where does real fraud happens? The fraud really somewhere it has to come through, right? How do you know the fraud has happened? Suppose there was no financial statements. Can anybody see whether it is a fraud or not? Suppose you don't have a subject called financial final accounts in a. Suppose you don't have final accounts, you don't have advanced accounts. What happens? What do you learn? What is the purpose? Right? So this everything where falls under what is called as financial accounts, and that is where your karma starts. Right? Till such time, no karma starts. Till such time you finalize accounts, nobody asks you questions. Till such time it is not tallied, nobody asks. Once it is tallied, they start looking at plus, minus, why is the variance up, right? So final account is nothing but the Chitragupta. Right? Chitragupta starts from there. Yama Dharmaraja will wait for you. And this is what fraud happens. So be mindful as to what it is. At some place you have to balance off things which you have done, which is not proper. And that's where the fraud starts about extending, shifting debt, acceleration, capitalizing expenses, counting non-existing inventories. All of these will be captured through a financial statement. And that is what forms the basis of identifying a fraud. Till such time, even if we are auditors, we don't know what's happening. The client comes back and says, please tell us you want to finalize the accounts. It's when you say, please provide me the trial balance. That's where I start from. What is the trial balance? You're a common student. What's the trial balance? What is a trial balance? Hey, don't tell me it's a trial and error balance. What's a trial balance? Sir, percent teacher chronological statement A to Z from the ledger accounts. Okay, what else? Statement arithmetical accuracy of accounts. Remember one thing in mind. Accounting concept, what it is? Every debit has got a credit. Trial balance will only tell you whether every debit had a corresponding credit or not. No extraction, no distraction, no nothing. Because if every debit is equal to credit, your trial balance should tally. The rest is all A, alphabet, B, C, D, everything is fine. Whether it's by income, whether by expense, whether by nature, right? But the fundamental concept is to know whether whatever you've done throughout the year, you will know every debit has got a equal and corresponding credit. Here, it's as simple as that. So a financial trial balance is the start point for all of this. Now, somebody might say, and we are all, me and Sudhakar are always regular we have love lost with all the stakeholders, whether it's the regulators, everybody. Today something will appear, somebody will appear. I always tell only one thing. Unless proven, you're not guilty. But unfortunately, media always makes it you're guilty first and then only you have to prove otherwise. That's unfortunate. But that is also because we show we are big. Obviously, right? Short person, you will not even look at it. A short person, you will observe. Tall person, short person, you will say, what you will say? ஐயோ பாவம். Tall person, no, I pray him, right? Middle person, nobody observes. So the big four is this. So everybody will look at it. Oh, so I know how because of your right you committed all of this. Only you can reach the shelf and take this out. That's a perception, and you cannot change the perception. How can you change it? Only through your continuous improvement and demonstration of your work. Nothing can change. But unfortunately, the first target is always the big force, which Sudhakar would talk about apart from the struggles that we go through in the big force. What are the challenges, the expectation? That means the Mamiyar Maapalakada, Mamiyar Matpunakada. You always want to impress the Mamiyar. It's always also the reverse. In today's world, the Matpunakada, she is super. Today, because once you give way, then the Matpunakada becomes the highest. Mamiyar goes down. But just think through this. You always want to impress whom? And the best, and the best, and the best. And I think this is where it has to go through it, that we should say we are one of the professional services firm, one of the professional, not one of the best professional services, because there's nothing called best professional services. Today you may be there, tomorrow you may be somewhere else. But to think through this and to say that we should be avoid, nobody should criticize us, I think that's not what is about. We should get it. But today, if you look at it, there is a huge expectation gap between an auditor and a regulator. They say, you're not auditing, audit is good, debit is good, everybody will do it. But now you tell us whether there's a fraudulent element relating to that. And that is the expectation gap that comes through the corporate frauds. Now, one of the things why today forensic has got evolved, and forensic as a practice got evolved, is because of this fraud. What your eyes can't see, your tools can see. What your tools can't see, your analytical mind can see. Look at this. Eyes can't see, tools can't see. But if I merge with my analytical mind with the usage of tools, I can get where the fraud happens. So therefore, merely having a tool does not give you the impetus to find out a fraud, but using your human mind or the human judgment will drive a fraud. And therefore, frauds are from see, there is a difference between when we audit, it's called auditing a transaction, not from a proprietary element. In a fraud, you audit it through a proprietary mindset. That means you will go and question whether this is genuine or not. In an audit, what do you say? Whether the transaction is in accordance to the contract or not. See the distinction. Genuineness in the form of proprietary, reasonableness in the form of transaction. That is the distinction that you will get it when you audit a financial statements, when you do a fraud. But today, the regulators expect go away from this, come back this fraudulent mindset, and therefore more and more on the fraud concept has been brought in. So therefore, if you are from a forensic mindset, that is what will be. Not a see, there is a difference between a forensic mindset and suspicion mindset. Forensic mindset is to arrive at certain things which is right or wrong in a process. Suspicion is I go with the person itself. Oh, he must be fraud. He's wearing beautiful jacket, good love, colored, he doesn't have salary. Where does he get it? That's a suspiciousness. Versus a forensic mindset is where I take the transaction and say, because of this, this is what I say. So move away from a suspicious mindset to a forensic mindset, and that's what would change. Many of the fraudulent transactions happens through known people only. It's called as related party transaction. Hey, how much time do I have? Sir, every time. Yeah, our appointment was not in there. Our gate with our close. So every fraud that happens in what is called as friends in crime. How does friends in crime start with? You have seen a lot of stories, yeah? Like, Amma in Gurmat cinema joint study panna night. How many people do night studies? Joint night studies? Hey, you do, right? How many times you have told mother that you want to joint study and went for a movie or for a party? Let's be genuine. Right? I mean, if you have not enjoyed life, you've gone, boss. Because that also tells you to bring your analytical mindset. In the Amma in the time the phone, in the phone, Appa in the time phone, in the time phone, secure, one side secure, one side secure. That's also called planning. Okay, I'm not saying that you please do it everywhere. No. But I'm saying this sort of a concept happens only with friends in crime. So all these friends in crime must be knowing. College decide we will not go to college, we will go to class. Right? That's the point in time that we need to look at it. So therefore, in corporate world, every fraudulent transactions happens only with related party transactions. So therefore, you need to know related party. Related party is not what is defined like father, mother, brother, wife, children. No. Related party is also directly or indirectly, which could be a friends in crime. Right? So therefore, a lot of these failures happens through in corporate world through what is called as related party transaction. Therefore, if you see even today's Hindenburg's report also talks about more about related party transactions, which actually was a cause for any of the financial system failures. For you to know, as much as your mobile phones are so important, if you are a commerce student, have your eyes and ears open for many of this commerce information that comes through, or the economic affairs. Have an habit of reading Economic Times or Business Standard or Financial Times or Business Line, anything. But read that newspaper once a day, because you will get to know many things about corporates. You get to know many things about the people. You get to know many things about the stock. You get to know many things about what's happening in India and what's happening elsewhere. So therefore, it becomes very, very important. So the public domain is very, very critical when you deal with the process. Now, some of the things, this is all the concepts which I'm not going to touch upon, but just think through it. Missing documents, mismatch, manufactured documents, all of these are examples. And this is how, if you see some of those, what you see is what you understand. If you both are so intelligent, I always also want to know the conversation. Discipline starts from the first bench. Sorry about that, but I'm just telling you because this is more the directional. So, but if you look at this mismatch, right, what is as per the standards services and payments agreement versus what is in the invoice, and nobody looks at it. Or invoices of different vendors in a similar format. Unfortunately, when you do fraud, right, you do the same thing. And it happens. In fact, you have to be very careful. People, what do you do? They need immediate invoices. They print same thing and send it across. Signatures keeps missing. Invoices created by the employees. These are all detected through a forensic. Forged documents. If you look at some of the forged documents, right? Same handwritten. Wall clock, he said, all of this. Same contact number for different vendors. Same authorized signatory for different vendors. All of these are captured through a forensic. Altered documents. You can also, there are ways to identify how the numbers work. Can you see on this top? 2, 1, you just look at it. But if you use a blue infrared trace, you'll be able to find this out. Illegitimate reimbursement employees, right? Documents not in order, right? These are some of the case studies, but if you look at some of, I just want to take one and therefore I'll help you understand how does a fraud happen. As I said, I talked about a behavior, and most of the behaviors are aggressive behaviors. So let me read this. One of the biggest frauds of the early 2000 was 2.6 billion earnings overstatement of ex-company. Richard was a charismatic and charming leader who led a loyal team that was well regarded, well rewarded, and drove the rapid growth of the company. However, he also had the other side of him that created a culture of fear. This is the behavior which is very important. He loves you, he gives you everything, but if you don't do what he wants, he create ruckus in the whole of it, right? Led to corners being cut and management penetrating in large-scale earning management fraud schemes. The CEO enjoyed the notoriety and the wealth that came from being a public company. Led a rock star life. Now just imagine, I've come in a private jet. What would have been my reception? What would have been my reception? Suppose I came in a bullock cart or an auto, shared auto. What would have been my reception? Unfortunately, we all give importance to the person, how he comes from. Don't ever give it. Give importance to the values that person brings it on the table. And that's what makes a person different. But unfortunately, this world is always look at the other side of it. But just imagine, this is the behavior which will lead to all of the frauds. And the rest of the examples are all of that. So that's on fraud, right? And I'm going to touch upon this financial risk management more from an understanding perspective, right? Is financial risk management important? Let me ask, are there some parents here? Someone said, welcome parents and all that. Are there any parents here? Parent, sister, brother, anybody who has to fund your education. Is there any parent? So, what is your biggest financial risk? Only sir. When you were evolving, when you had a kid, only financial risk is but what is the biggest risk? Huh? Risk. The biggest financial risk starts from home, right? You have an earning, you have an expense. Newly married, your expenses are only between two people. As you grow, your kids, your parents age. What's the risk? The risk is to take care of the parents. The risk is to take care of the kids. That's the financial risk. So you had $1,000, it went to $2,000. But your expenditure was 500 rupees, it went to 1,600 rupees. That's a financial risk. And therefore, financial risk is both internal and external. Those which is planned and unplanned. So suppose you're paying a rent of, let's say, out of 1,000 rupees, you're paying a rent of 200 rupees. And that owner comes and says, no, sir, that 100 rupees becomes your risk. College said, no, we have given you scholarship, or let's say we give this year onwards, because after COVID we have to open on this, pay from 1,000 rupees to 5,000 rupees. Financial risk goes up. So this is from an understanding of financial risk that goes through it. So financial risk is the management which you require for a business, both internal and through external. So therefore that you need to look at. So financial risk is a condition that arises as a result of changes both internally and externally that can be financially detrimental to a person, group, or person. That means at every stage. Have you come to any one stage and said, I don't need money? Right? Because your standard of living automatically keeps going as you get money. You were sleeping on the floor, you had a one fan, you had all of this. Suddenly, when your money goes up from this one to cooler to air conditioner, from cycle to two-wheeler to four-wheeler to from a bus to, so automatically this goes up. So there is no end to financials. Therefore, always remember this rule. Always remember, you're all students, remember this rule. You know, mothers teach you, I'll keep it for a good day. Right? So if you want to find out money, it will be in these boxes. All those, you know, the pulses boxes and all of this. That's how to keep on saving 20% of that. Trust me, follow the rule of 70 and 30. 30, mandatory save. 50 is your mandatory expense. 20 is your unexplained transaction. That means something which you have not planned. So 50, 30, and 20 rule. 50 mandatory. If you're earning 1,000, 500 is your expenses. So 300 should be savings. 200 should be unplanned. What is it unplanned? So going for a movie, going for this, going for somebody, some expenses, something. So 50, 30, 20 rule, if you follow, you will do great. So therefore, from a financial risk perspective, what is important is you need to plan both internal and external. Plan for known risk, plan for unplanned risk, which is a risk which is beyond you. And that's what is financial risk. You know what happens when suddenly the collector is coming, the whole room is getting shaken. It means that everybody is active now. Now everything is going on. Madam, I'm presenting, madam, still not finished. You tell me to stop, I'll stop. You maybe your teacher are not strict, I'm very strict. Okay? You tell me I have to stop, I'll stop, and then you can set it on. All right? Inaugural was at 10 o'clock. Mine was at 10:40. So just give me about 5 minutes, I'll finish it off. All right?
Even collect those, you can
One, Anna. You, our business is number one. But just think through this. And simple layman's understanding is a risk which is both internal and external. Something which is within your control, something which is beyond your control. And beyond your control could be, suppose you're getting married, somebody asks for something, somebody does this, somebody wants too much money, somebody wants land parts. These are unexpected. So therefore, you should always plan for all of this. So from a business perspective, it's determined by market risk, credit risk, liquidity risk, and operational risk. For a simple example, I'll give you an operational risk. Now, if you were to, let's say, import certain goods from certain country, let's say oil is one of the examples. You have everything before the Russia-Ukraine war, there was no problem. Oil was from the Middle East and everything was going normal. Suddenly, what happened? War broke. You can't buy from this. You have to buy from it. So therefore, it becomes an operational risk. What's the liquidity risk? So much of money is blocked here. You're not getting back that money. So it becomes a liquidity risk. So much of money, you're not getting money, you want to take it from the bank. Bank is not giving you the money. That becomes a credit risk. And you go to the market, market is not giving you anything on credit. What happens? So therefore, everything is interrelated. Everything is interrelated. So market risk to credit risk to liquidity risk to operation risk, everything is interrelated, and therefore every business cannot go without going through this process. And therefore, from a financial planning perspective, you need to have all of the risk done in this. So this is explained for a normal family: income risk, expenditure risk, asset risk, and credit risk, because these are something in a family which happens. You translate that into a business. That's how the business will get into risk. So you need to identify, the best person to identify is the mother. If the best person to identify is the father, both are equal, right? Because one person should play the role. If the father does not take, the mother takes. If the mother doesn't take, the father takes. If both don't take care, upar wala minds. All right? But the fact of the matter is, you cannot leave to the kids to go and manage their own finances. And I think this is something which I always keep telling people, that never allow the kids to take care of their finances merely because they never come into this world because of their own liking, because of something. At the same time, if the parents are taking care of him during the time when you need, don't let them down when they need. So therefore, it's mutual. So therefore, you have to look at both from a perspective of the roles that the parents play and the child that they play. It's not about merely because you get married and therefore you got it, or a financial independence different, you get away from this. So therefore, this risk is mutual in any day-to-day work. So identify, analyze, assess, and handling. Handling the risk is never. Every problem starts only with money. Every problem ends only with money. The difference is, how do I manage this risk in this pendulum? And if I manage this equally, then you'll have smiling faces, great coats, great makeups, great holidays, everything great. So therefore, look at that from a managing perspective. I'm not getting into all the political risk and all of that. This is too much for you. But just remember one thing in life. The risk that you will not get a job. The risk that you will not move to the next level. The risk that your friends will do well. The risk is that you have succeeded, but you need to continue to remain at the same level. The risk is for the person who performs. The risk is for the person who does not perform. The risk is for the person who is evolved in the entire system. And therefore, if you're the students of commerce, remember one thing. Apart from learning, right? Take care of your parents. I think that you are in this world because of parents. No matter how good or bad they are, you need to take care of them. With this, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and over to the people who want to sit along this. Thank you very much.
We need to realize that we will escape from anything in this modern technological world. Thank you, sir, for your cautious, mind-blowing words about committing frauds and financial risk. Living in the state of gratitude is a great way to grace. I now call upon the Vidashri ND of 3rd BCom PA to deliver the word of thanks.
Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all others. Good morning, everyone. I'm Vidashri of 3rd BCom PA. Feel very privileged to be present here to deliver the oath of thanks on behalf of KPRCAS College of Arts, Science and Research at today's session, the role of professionals in modern financial system. First of all, I would like to thank the chairman of the institution, Dr. K.P. Ramasamy sir, for his support in all the endeavors. Thank you, sir. I would like to extend my wholehearted thanks to our beloved principal man, Dr. P. Geeta, who always stand by us and motivate us in all our endeavors. Thank you, ma'am. I also thank the man of positivity, our Chief Executive Sir, Dr. S. Ramasamy, who has been rendering his support in all the aspects. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank our today's resource person, C.A. Ganesh Balakrishnan, Audit Talent Lead and Audit Learning and Development Leader at Deloitte, Hassin and Sales Limited, for the knowledgeable session and valuable thoughts on the auditing fraud and financial risk. Thank you for making today's session most effective for our students. Thank you, sir. I also extend my heartfelt thanks to our most respected Dean, School of Commerce, Dr. K. Himala Devi, and Dr. D. Karthika, Associate Professor and Head Department of BCom Professional Accounting. Thank you, ma'am. I also owe my special gratitude to all respected heads and department and respected faculties of all the department who graced and made this program a memorable one. Thank you all. Last but not least, I thank all our dear students and parents without whom this program would not have been a successful one. Thank you all. I would like to take your leave with a feeling of happiness and gratitude. Once again, I thank you all. Thank you.
Madam, video.
Wait, which video? Sir?
Video. Light எல்லாம் ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கணும் அதுக்காக தான் கேட்குறேன். ஏதோ சொல்லுவாங்க அதுக்காக இப்போ எப்படி சொல்லியிருக்காங்க.
KPR anthem அதுக்கப்புறம் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆகும் சார் எல்லா வீடியோ.
லைனா வீடியோ ப்ளே பண்ண KPR anthem அப்படின்னா லைனா வீடியோ ப்ளே பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தான்னு கேட்குறேன். சரி.
Lighting the KPR anthem with department.
Stop பண்ணிட்டீங்க.
Collected video. Not visible. Collected video.
Camera on. Camera on close பண்ணுங்க. நான் தட்டி விட்டே இருப்பேன். கரெக்ட் வந்தானே
In the words of Ratan Tata, I need MBAs to run my business, but I need CAs to teach MBAs how to run a business. The world is full of diamonds and gems, and we have some of them here today to build this event. With this note, we are extremely overwhelmed to welcome you all for Auditors Conclave 2023 on the role of professionals in modern financial system, jointly organized by KPR College of Arts, Science and Research, Professional Coaching Wing, and Department of Commerce, Professional Accounting. Prayer is a force that can open the door of heaven and bring down every hidden treasure. Now, I invite Kavishri, Krishna, and Abhayna of 2nd BCom PA to sing a prayer song. I request everyone to raise up for the prayer song.
நீராடும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்த கெழிலொழுகும் சீராடும் வதனமென திகழ்வரத கண்டமிழில் தெக்கணமும் அதிசிறந்த திராவிடதல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு திரைமுடலும் தனித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அணிந்துலகும் பின்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனகே தமிழனகே உன் சீரிலமை திறம்பியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Thank you, Kavishri and team. Let's light a lamp of love, shoot a rocket of prosperity, fire of love, burn of happiness, blast a chain of sorrow. Now, I call upon our dignitaries to light the lamp.
Auditors Conclave video ready இருக்கா? ரெடியா இருக்கா? இல்லங்க.
Thank you, dignitaries. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It's time to feast our eyes with the KPR anthem.
See the way we move, no way, no.
was a library. Now, let's take a look at the video of our Honorable District Collector.
A dream, a goal, a service to nation, a responsibility, a pride, most importantly, a destination. Sri C.A. Kranti Kumar Patil, IAS District Collector, Coimbatore. Kranti Kumar Patil, a young IAS officer, was born on June 14, 1990. After graduating from Brihan Maharashtra College of Commerce in 2007, he began his career as an audit assistant at Shamdi Patel & Co. until 2009. He then worked as an audit contractor at SR Beckley Boy and Associates and later at Ernst & Young India Private Limited. He then worked at KPMG as a senior in transaction services until October 2013. In August 2015, Kranti Kumar Patil began his IAS training as an office trainee, which he completed in June 2017. After that, he worked at the Government of India's Department of Posts as an assistant secretary. He started his administrative career as the sub-collector of Namakkal district in Tamil Nadu. Later in 2019, he became the Joint Commissioner of Commercial Tax and GST for the Erode area. He served in this position until October 2020. After that, he worked as the Executive Officer of the Arunmigal Dandiyatapani Swami Temple in Palani, Tamil Nadu. Since June 2021, he served as the Commissioner of Tirupur Corporation Commission and has recently been appointed as the Collector of Coimbatore District. On behalf of KPR College of Arts, Science and Research, we heartily welcome you, sir.
I now request the dignitaries to occupy the dais. If the sign on your heart says welcome, the love will come pouring in from everywhere. I'm so delighted to invite Dr. K. Kumalathiriram, Dean School of Commerce, to welcome this occasion.
Honorable Chief Guest of Auditor Conclave 2023, through C.A. Kranti Kumar Patil, District Collector, Coimbatore, respected guests, Chartered Accountant Rajesh, Regional Member, ICI Coimbatore, Honorable guest speakers of various sessions, Chartered Accountant Ganesh Balagasan sir from Deloitte, and the Chartered Accountant Sudhakar sir, Partner, Audit and Assurance, Vijay sir, and LLB. And technical session 3, Chartered Accountant Sharbajit, Treasurer, Coimbatore ICI, most respected Principal Madam Dr. Geeta, Chief Executive of our institution, Dr. Balasamy sir, then Faculty of School of Commerce, convener of this conclave, Dr. Kartika, parents, heads of the Department of Other School, Dean from Computing Science Department, our academic partner, Nitya from Ishwar Academy, delegates from other institutions, achievers of CA Foundation Program, and future auditors. Good afternoon, all of you. It's a great day. Our School of Commerce, Professional Coaching Wing, and Department of Professional Accounting Department joining organizing an Auditor Conclave 2023. The aim of Auditor Conclave is basically the roles and responsibility of auditor for modern business management. Actually, auditors are the architect of our economy as well as the nation. This is a mindset. Our KPR College of Arts and Science Research to take an initiative to conduct the Auditor Conclave in second time. In this juncture, I am extremely happy to great privilege to welcome our chief guest, Chartered Accountant Kranti Kumar Patil, District Collector, Coimbatore, for this conclave. Welcome you, sir. It's my great honor to welcome Guest of the inaugural session, Chartered Accountant Rajesh sir for his presence. Welcome you, sir. On behalf of future auditor, my own behalf, I am extremely happy to welcome once again our auditor, Chartered Accountant Ganesh Balkrishnan sir for this inaugural session. Extremely delighted and happy to welcome Chartered Accountant Sudhakar sir for joining us for the inaugural session today. Welcome you, sir. It's a great honor to welcome our principal madam for helping us to conducting this program. Welcome you, ma'am. All programs, the backbone of this program is a real planner and architect and another than a chief executive, Dr. Balsam sir. On behalf of Forum, I welcome you, sir. It's a great duty to welcome convener of this program, Dr. Kartika and team, and heads of the department of our own department, other departments, Dean of Computing Science Department, Dr. Sharmila ma'am, then parents of these achievers, future auditors, and the entire team of KPR College of Arts and Science supporting us to conduct this conclave in second time in our soil. Once again, on behalf of organizing committee, I welcome you all.
A warm and cordial welcome. One who puts their soul and heart in uplifting others attains dignity. It's my privilege to invite Dr. P. Geethaman, Principal of KPRCAS, to provide presidential letters.
Very good afternoon to one and all present here, and it gives me an immense pleasure in rendering my presidential address in Auditors Conclave 2023, organized jointly by KPR College of Arts, Science and Research, Professional Coaching Wing, and Department of Commerce, School of Commerce. Wealth is the ability to fully experience life, said Henry David. Wealth energizes commerce to generate, develop, encourage, and expand the needs of the nation. That is why we are today here. The economic growth and sustainability of the nation depends on commerce. The auditors are the epitome, and that is why we have all the legends over here on the dais and the future legends of the dais. The financial state of the concern has to be handled without any discord by the auditors, and that we could see in the first session as said by the Chartered Accountant Ganesh sir. It is not about procuring money, it is not about knowing how the people and what the people, but it is how to manage it. People who can grapple with funds in a legitimate way can handle the competence of the world effectively. In the disabled world of MS money handling, auditors play a prominent role as examiners, investigators, analysts, surveyors, researchers, and more importantly, protectors. The value of them is known only through their insight. I take a stand in wishing people who attend today's program to acquire proper ideas about the role of professionals in the modern financial system. Once again, I thank you for coming here and gracing this occasion, a memorable one. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. A wisdom leader throws up roots in all directions, and the roots spring up and make new trees. It's my immense pleasure to invite Dr. S. Balasamy sir, Chief Executive of KPRCAS, to felicitate the gathering.
Guruvuku vanakkam, Thai Nandikku nandri. Good afternoon, one and all present here, Honorable District Collector, respected today's Chief Guest, Principal of the esteemed institution, respected Deans, Convener of the program, our academic partners, the Easter Academy, and all our students, future professionals, and parents. Good afternoon to one and all present here. It's yet another milestone in the history of KPR College of Arts and Science and Research. This is a second Auditors Conclave. In this occasion, I would like to congratulate the School of Commerce, Professional Coaching Wing, taking a continuous effort to make the professionals from the soil of KPR. Even at the starting stage itself, our chairman, his dream is having which a little bit different. He told each and every auditor or professional equal to one collector.
So today's program, our kids are really lucky enough to have a collector with auditing background that worked in big four companies. So we are really proud enough to have a district collector as a guest, and is going to encourage our young team. Similarly, for all the members, except our academicians, today the stage is decorated by only the professionals, because any country for the healthy living purely because of the professionals, because the first session colorfully, meaningfully, intellectually covered by our again, Ganesh and Balakrishnan sir in a fantastic manner. Similarly, each auditor, they are highly genuine enough, ethical enough, and at the same time, you want to understand the essence. For reaching that height, either CA or CS or CMA, we want to face all the challenges. It is not struggles, all the challenges. Continuously, you want to put your effort. Definitely, you may reach one day in a greater position. One day you reach with a greater position means not only you are servicing to your family, you are servicing to our nation also. So in this occasion, it's another great pleasure for us. Our KPR auditor, Sudhakar sir, with us. I think this is the first official program he is attending along with our students community. So similarly, even afternoon, our Sarvajit will come and join. So this is the family program. It is not created for namesake. Each and every student inside the hall, you want to take the message and you can fine tune your pathway to reach your goal. You may be the highly valuable person because their experience minimum more than 1 decade, and some of the members 2 decades. They crossed all the benchmark institutions, entire world, not in India, the entire world. They crossed. They know very well about the positive side and the challenges side of each and every institution and company. That is the greatness. We may have a very good impact from KPR. Even very first year onwards, we are creating awareness programs to our students. This time, with the help of Career Council Chairman Rajesh, we conducted a mega career council around. It's covered by 4,000 students in this academic year beginning itself. Our professional coaching wing functioning in a greater manner. In foundation level, almost for coming May also 52 members they are appearing for examinations. Till now, 50 members cleared their foundation for CA, CMA, and BSA. And we are marking what this KPR College School of Commerce means. They are very unique personality. They are not only producing commerce graduates, they are producing professionals to the nation. So that is the dream of our management and all our parents and the students also. You can also keep a single goal that definitely achievable in nature. In this occasion, I would like to congratulate the entire family of KPRCAS and all our guests, and especially the district collector. You know very well about how much he may be busy with the morning session. Thank you very much on behalf of our entire team. Once again, congratulations to the entire team of organizers for this wonderful event. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Was honored for what he received. Honor has been the reward for what he gave. Now it's time to honor our chief guest. I now request Dr. P. Geetama, Principal of KPRCAS, to honor a respected district collector. To honor CAS Rajesh sir, Regional Council, a member of SARC of ICI. Thank you, sir. Now I request Dr. K. Mula, Dean School of Commerce, to honor C. Ganesh Balakrishnan, sir, Audit Talent Lead and Audit Learning and Development Leader, Deloitte Haskins and Sells, LLP, Hyderabad. Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Dr. S. Balasani, sir, Chief Executive of KPRCAS, to honor CA K. Sudhakar, sir, Partner Audit and Assurance, PSR & Co. LLP. Thank you, dignitaries. Stars shine at night. Some stars shine at bright daylight. We're so proud to welcome one such star, our respected chief guest, Honorable District Collector of Coimbatore, to grace the stage.
Respected Rajesh sir, Council Member SARC, all my seniors, respected sirs and seniors in profession, management of KPR College who has organized this wonderful session, all fellow colleagues and students, very good morning to all of you. English to பேசலாமா தமிழ்ல பேசலாம் தமிழ்ல பேசலாம் சரி ஓகே சோ இங்க வந்தது வந்து ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு ஏன்னா all my alma maters I count ஏன்னா ICA is my first alma mater அதுக்கப்புறம் I worked in Ernst & SR and KPMG so all of them are here so it feels like coming back to family and இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு நிகழ்ச்சி ஆர்கனைஸ் பண்ணது வந்து you should appreciate while pursuing in the BCom and the CA course pursue பண்ணும்போது to get this interaction to interact with top professionals நாங்க எல்லாம் internship போய் before work பண்ணும்போது to interact with partner is very rare and to get even few minutes to interact with partner of a big four firm is a very rare occasion அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு situation இருக்கும்போது all these people have come to guide you and give you exposure so இது வந்து நீங்க fully utilize this be very attentive இது ஒரு random session எடுக்காம because நிறைய பேருக்கு வந்து ஒரு rough idea தான் இருக்கும் நம்ம படிக்கும்போது and pursue பண்ணும்போது course pursue பண்ணும்போது ஒரு rough idea தான் இருக்கும் what are the opportunities என்ன மாதிரி what is the work you will be doing அது ஒரு கான்கிரீட் ஷேப்ல ஒரு அப்ஸ்ட்ராக்ட்ல இருந்து ஒரு கான்கிரீட் ஷேப்ல கொண்டு வரதுக்கு இந்த மாதிரி செஷன்ஸ் வந்து யூ மேக் ஃபுல் யூஸ் ஆஃப் இட் அண்ட் ஐ ஷுட் ஆல்சோ அப்ரிஷியேட் ICA couple of few months ago we had one session in Odisha அங்கேயும் வந்து ஒரு ரொம்ப டிஃபரெண்டா பிளான் பண்ணிருக்காங்க எப்படின்னா for all school students to encourage enrollment in for chartered accountancy. So there the panel were members in different streams of very different streams of life, entrepreneurship, members practicing abroad, members in service, members practicing in India, members in industry. And the mari or taniya different streams la irukra members put it pandu or session plan pannanga. So they are really thinking out of the box to give maximum possible exposure to students as well as aspirants. So in later please make use of it. So introduction about myself, brief introduction. So I qualified chartered accountancy in 2011 and I foundation, PCC, that pattern was immediately after foundation. We had to go after firm with our resume in hand for internship. It was a very good exposure because in no other profession or even this thing, நம்ம கம்பேர் பண்ணும்போது அந்த ஏஜ்ல வந்து அந்த மாதிரி எக்ஸ்போஜர் வேற எந்த ப்ரொஃபஷன்லயும் கிடைக்காது. Where it teaches us to be independent and think for ourselves and face world at large at a very young age. In the more exposure, even if you take any other stream, engineering, medical, it's a very closed group of people you will interact. In the chartered accountancy, pursue in internship, articleship, it's the best possible this thing. Being internal, you will be going and interacting with CFOs of the company and not just the finance side. And the beauty of auditing is you will not be dealing only with the finances. And the finances, what are finances? Finance is a language. What is accounting? What is accounts? Balance sheet, P&L, it's a language. It is communicating. It is telling a story about something. What is it the story of? It is a story of a business. So, and the story process it makes any use. Knowing accountancy is just knowing the language. Or and the company of the shareholders language is this accounting statement. All the academics will teach you the language. If you know the language, in order to tell that story, in order to verify if the story is correct or not, the role of auditor is the company's management is telling a story about the company to its shareholders and its stakeholders. And it is up to you to say whether that story is correct or not. ரொம்ப டெக்னிக்கலா இல்லை. அந்த கம்பெனி எப்படி போயிட்டு இருக்கு, இந்த வருஷம் என்ன பண்ணியாச்சு, அடுத்த வருஷம் என்ன பண்ண போறாங்க, ஒரு ஃபோர்காஸ்ட் என்ன இருக்கு, கேஷ் ஃப்ளோ என்ன இருக்குன்னு சொல்லிட்டு the company's management is telling a story and it is put up in front of you to verify it and say that whether that story is reflecting the true picture or not. Idhila romba important aspect enna, it's a fiduciary responsibility. You are protecting interests of people you don't even know. Who all are the users of the financial statements? You don't know. They could be lenders, they could be shareholders, it could be government, because even government relies on financial statements for various purposes. Taxation or many different aspects, many different compliances, government relies on these statements, and those statements will be certified by the auditors. So under a fiduciary relationship, your integrity, your knowledge matters a lot. And integrity and it's built over time. And it takes very small mistakes to lose it. So all these risk aspects and various other sessions planned for you. I hope all the experts will be sharing their practical wisdom with you. So in addition to academic, in addition to that, understand all the practical challenges that will come your way, that will keep in good stead. And landscape change right. I will be giving you the perspective of both as an insider, as an outsider looking into the profession. So today the business is changing a lot. Theory on the even economics is not stable. It was very simple. Inflation rate of interest increase, inflation reduce. Over in economists on the theory, one economist will come and say modern monetary theory. It does not matter how much money you print, you can print. So there are takers for every theory. And similarly, you would be tracking so many new things will be coming up. All this cryptocurrency, complex financial instruments, the complexity will keep on increasing, but we should analyze everything from first principle. Don't be carried away by jargons. First thing you audit the company industry complicated as also. You should not think that if it is explained in complex language, it must be true. If it cannot be explained in lay terms, then you should not trust it. The complex, it's true even while you are preparing, while you are working anywhere. If you cannot understand, if you cannot explain it to a layman, then you have not understood it properly. So in the first principles, believe in your own ability, trust your own instincts, and do the job diligently with integrity. Then in the industry, in the profession, it will definitely hold you in a good state. And our profession, chartered accountancy or any other professional courses have got great reputation. Has got very long history of achievements and facilitating world level different countries. ICA has signed MOUs with various countries, and our accounting professionals are respected all over the world. And you are going to be part of this great tradition. So please uphold this tradition, and whichever field, like everybody who were my batchmates and who prepared with me, fields they are all have got great achievements in whichever field they went. Many skills that you learn. Chartered accountancy level, we are trained to process large quantities of information. Syllabus that will be very vast. Exams also will be very rigorous, and the syllabus, it's voluminous. But the ability to process it, that skills come into play. Communication skills, of course, several other courses, even in regular course of the duration of the curriculum, the communication skills, how to put across your point properly, all these skills you learn in this field are will be very well helpful in whichever line you enter into later. So, and what trade-off the course is very rigorous. Over clear I qualified at the age of 19. I qualified everything in perspective. All India rank 18 in QCC and All India rank 35 in final. So, don't be distracted. First thing is that you should believe that you can do it. And second thing, don't try to copy anybody. In the exam, it will test certain skill sets. And the exam is suitable and skill sets on the latest one. And your preparation strategy for the exam should be based on your own strengths and weaknesses, and how you are going to focus and achieve it. Intelligence, IQ, is what perseverance and hard work matters more. Or above average IQ in the exam clear. We have seen many people who are brilliant, but who would not concentrate and persevere over a long period of time over anything. Then you cannot achieve much. Especially in these exams. Original exams are CAT clear perseverance and hard work role. If you are brilliant, your GMAT score will always be high. Your IQ is very high, you can easily clear CAT. But if I attempt the CAT, I don't think I'll get above 85%. Because skill sets are right. Those exams test certain skill sets. PA exam tests skill set of your hard work and perseverance. It is not an exam of your IQ. Similarly, then UPSC does not test your IQ. It tests how your analytical part of your brain works, how much information you can process, and how quickly you can take decisions. Every exam is designed to test a certain skill, and why that skill? The practice that skill will be useful. Why I say CA why is our syllabus in this way? Because any task you take up as a chartered accountant, while you are auditing or something, you will get very restricted timelines, deadlines. And the restricted deadline information in the process, you should analyze it, you should understand it, and you should give your opinion on it in that short period of time. So the exact same thing is tested in your exam. So that vast portion of syllabus, how you juggle along with your articleship, along with your BCom exam, and then prepare for this exam and clear the exam. If you have that skill set, you will excel also as a professional. That is why the exam is designed that way. So with this understanding, I hope you all focus on your task at hand, and in the sessions use interact freely with all the experts who are here. Also, freely ask your doubts and get clarity on any aspect you want to know. And don't be bogged down by negative thoughts and the exams. And it's every time, in one paper, entire group you have to give again, or entire exam you have to give again. So this is a very vicious cycle. Many of my friends also got into it, but there's definitely hope. It does not matter. Or one attempt you have wasted, or a few 6 months you got wasted. It does not matter in the long term. And I have seen many examples. Somebody who does not focus for a few years, they get stuck in this rush. Suddenly they get some inspiration or some focus, and only that exam period, in the exam, whether it is foundation or intermediate or final, it's just a game of 3-4 months. And the 3-4 months, you correct focus, prepare, definitely you will be able to clear. So that has been my experience looking at all my friends and batchmates who have written this exam over years. So I wish you all the best in your endeavors, and I congratulate again for the management for organizing this wonderful session for the students, and I thank for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
So sparing is a valuable time besides your busy schedule and giving us an informative and inspiring speech.
Success isn't always about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. We're so gratified to have a great and amazing personality, CAS Rajesh sir, Regional Council Member, SIRC of ICAI, to embrace us with special address.
Honorable District Collector of Coimbatore, Chartered Accountant C.A. Kranti Kumar Patil, my good friend, speakers of the day, C.A. Ganesh Balakrishnan, C.A. Sudhagar, Chief Executive of the institution, C.A. Balaswamy, Mr. Balaswamy, the Dean of the Commerce, Kumada Devi, Principal of the institution, Geeta, HOD Kartika, Ishwar Academy team, and other faculty members, students. Good morning to everyone present here. Welcome, Kali Vanakkam. So it's a great pleasure to be part of this wonderful event. We have a wonderful chief guest. The person who you can take him as a role model to achieve great heights. He's a person present here physically. You can see him well. You have heard his speech. Just see his life, see the journey he has traveled, see the growth, the achievements he has made. That he has cleared CA at the age of 19, and with the ranks. So it's a great pleasure to have a wonderful chief guest here, C.A. Kranti Kumar. We invited him for an event at Odisha, as he's shared. So it was really inspiring for many, around 5,000 participants were there. Each and every one of them got inspired a lot. And I'm sure you all would have got inspired by his speech and the words, the wisdom what he has shared would have enlightened you. And I'm sure each and every one of you will not only become professional, CS, CMA or CS, but also reach great heights like the leaders here. The leaders in public service, the leaders in profession. So all the leaders are here. As Kranti said, it's very difficult to have even a 5-minute discussion with the partner of any big four. But here you have heard for more than you are hearing, you'll be hearing for more than 1 or 2 hours a session by the partners of Big Fours. So it's a great opportunity. I really appreciate the management for arranging this program. These type of programs are really going to be a transformation. These opportunities can't be, it's not an easy opportunity, and you are really blessed to have such wonderful people here. This will, I'm sure, this program will be a real transformation for many of you here. It will enlighten you, and it will give a spark in each and every one of you in your thoughts. And I'm sure you will reach great heights. Kranti sir, I have a few lines for you in Tamil. காண என்றும் இளமை, உரையில் என்றும் இனிமை, சிந்தனையில் என்றும் புதுமை, மனதில் என்றும் கடமை, முடிவில் என்றும் பொறுமை, அன்பில் என்றும் வலிமை, ஆளுமையில் என்றும் தோழமை, அனைத்திலும் என்றும் திறமை, நீர் ஒரு முழுமை. So these words, I'm sure this will fit in well. So it's all, even his journey would have not only inspired you, I'm sure it has inspired me also. And I'm sure this will enlighten many people in Coimbatore with a lot of programs coming ahead. And I thank the management. And one more thing, the managing director of KPR institutions, which is growing with a lot of efforts, and the level of heights they have reached, KPR institutions, KPR group of companies. There's one more person behind, the managing director, Mr. Narajan sir. He's a chartered accountant. So the professional involvement in any corporate, not only corporate, in any part, it's the real, the professionals are the real partners in nation building. And I'm sure we professionals are there to support the nation at the economic level and the finance, and also at all levels. And you people, there's a huge demand for you. There's a huge demand for professionals. There's a huge demand in the finance side. So we welcome you all to our fraternity. My best wishes to you all. You would have got a lot of dreams. Maybe after this program, this will inspire you with a lot of dreams. Let all your dreams come true. A few lines for you. கனவுகள் முதலில் பிரமிப்பு கொடுக்கும், முடியுமா நம்மால் என மனது நினைக்கும், காரியம் தொடங்கினால் நம்பிக்கை பிறக்கும், தொடர்ந்து முயன்றால் நினைத்தது நடக்கும். Best wishes to you all. Thank you.
Recognition, but do work worthy of recognition. Be an award-winning book with never-ending stories. Now I request our Honorable District Collector to distribute the awards to the achievers.
Now, I'd like to call upon the CA achievers, P. Tamil Selvi, second BCom B. Ms. G. Vijayalakshmi, second BCom A. Ms. Yan Yukti, first BCom PAB. Mr. G. Saran, second BCom PAB. Ms. Shrija Vijay Kumar, second BCom PAB. Ms. P. Priyadarshini, third BCom PA. call upon the CCA achievers, Ms. S. Kattini, first BCom CAB, Ms. S. Trisha, first BCom CAB, Ms. P.K. Hashimi, first BCom A, Ms. S. Veronica, first BCom B, Ms. V.S. Vishruta, first BCom B.
Thank you, dignitaries. A good event never ends in the world. They take only a pass and keep us awaiting for the next. Now I may invite Dr. D. Karthikaram, Associate Professor and Head Department of Commerce, Professional Accounting, KPRCAS, to present the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon all. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver vote of thanks. First, I would like to thank our Honorable District Collector, C. Kranti Kumar Patel, sir. Thank you, sir. And next, I would like to extend my thanks to CAS Rajesh, sir, Regional Council Member. Thank you, sir, for joining the session. And next, I would like to thank C. Ganesh Balakrishnan, sir, Leader of Deloitte Haskell and Sales, Hyderabad. Thank you, sir, for giving wonderful session. Next, I would like to thank C. Sudhakar, sir, who is going to deliver session 2, Partner Audit and Assurance, BSR and Company LLP. Thank you, sir, for joining our session. And last but not least, we thank our session 3 Chief Guest, C. Sarvajit Krishnan, sir, in this absence here for accepting as a guest speaker. And next, I extend my thankful to our principal, ma'am, Dr. P. Geeta, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for giving a valuable support here. And also we thank CE sir, police officer, for motivating and guiding us. Thank you, sir. And next, I extend my thanks to our Dean School of Commerce, Dr. K. Kumula Devi, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And next, I extend my thanks to Dean SOC, Shamila, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And extend my deep thanks to all the heads of the departments and Ishwar Academy. Ma'am, thank you, ma'am. And also extend my sincere thanks to all the students today who joined the session, and also especially outside college students for Auditors Conclave. Thank you all. And last but not least, I thank non-teaching staff members for giving their valuable support. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am, for your graceful gratitude.